Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new, my name's Nicole. If you're old, welcome back. And today I just want to do a little chatty kind of get ready with me since I had to delete my other video which actually showed me using the Jaclyn Morphe palette, and I'm hoping I'm in frame. I can't see, I don't have a mirror behind me. We are in my bathroom, so a different setup. But I'm supposed to be helping out at an after Veterans Day program for my boss, setting up the programs at 2. It's like almost 1:30 right now. So I figured I'd go ahead and just chat because something like happened today that I didn't know about because my brother doesn't let me know. Like my brother might be more emotionally closed off than I am sometimes, or regarding certain things. He won't tell me about it unless it's in person. He tells my mom, but he didn't tell me, and he's older. That might be slightly what it is. I'm just going to set this. I have Urban Decay Primer Potion on. And plus this brightens it a little bit more. Even though that primer potion is really pretty good at neutralizing my dark eyeballs. So I know I'm not perfectly in frame. I tried to step back just a little bit and keep in there. But anyway, apparently the letter was signed, so I'm thinking it was mailed. Somehow they found my brother's address. If you don't know, he is my half brother. Unless mentioning it, we just refer, as brother, sister. We were raised together by my mom, who is most, a lot of times single, or not even single, but, divorced. And, from age 10 on, just mixing a couple back and forth cliches. So he's my half brother. And I was a product of my mom divorcing his father and my father divorcing his first wife, who is my half-sister's mother. And I guess they just comforted each other. I really don't know. I don't ask. Some things you just don't want to know. I'm hitting that burgundy. You like try that shade. So anyway, it was dated November 6th. Apparently he got a letter, and I haven't been over there since Halloween. Like, I was tuckered out. I needed a weekend off. I plan on going over there today so he can see what's wrong with my car. But, you know how good this is. I'm like long distance watching it. He got a letter from someone saying he was his uncle. And his uncle's 86. Okay, his father is 15 years older than my mom. Maybe 17. 15 and 17, somewhere around there. My father was almost 10 years older than my mom. And my mom was in her 20s when she, young 20s when she had me and my brother. But, claiming that he was his uncle and been trying to get a hold of him for a couple years, and he's 86 or something like that, and that his father had passed away actually 2 years ago, almost fully 2 years ago, in a nursing home where he had been for years with congestive heart failure and all this other stuff. And, but it was a shorter letter than that, and then my brother apparently called him after, I guess, talking to my mom and asking if my mom knew about it. And my mom knows some of the history, and they weren't together long. I think they might have known each other a year or something before they got together, but I don't think they weren't married long at all. But I think they were only together maybe 2 or 3 years, really. But she knew that he was adopted by family. Like his father was adopted by family, and close enough family, so he's still part French. There's only one YouTuber on here that knows my last name, and I don't know if she knows it's French because my mom didn't marry my father, and my father wasn't present at my birth, so I didn't get my father's last name. So anyway, and I don't know if they were even together at the time of my birth. I really need to ask my mom. I always forget to ask. Anyway. So anyway, he answered the questions where his father was born, because my mom knew that he was adopted. My mother knew my brother had siblings, at least 4 older siblings, a couple sisters, couple brothers. Apparently he has a younger brother, and I'm interested in knowing if that one is younger or older than me. But anyway, apparently his uncle, who's 86, been trying to get a hold of him before it was too late for a couple years, but his father, he tried to get him to try to make amends with all his kids, and he wouldn't, or even reach out to him, and he wouldn't. He even called his father, you know, an a-hole and scumbag, you know, or like just not a good guy. She already knew. I'll brush. So yeah, let me go in this color right here because I think it's pretty. So anyway, and then I guess Douglas finally talked to him on the phone and found out about his siblings and their name. One's actually 51, which is only a few years younger than my mother, and one's 49. And I forgot what she said about the other ages, but he hasn't mentioned any of this to me, and I'm going to see him today. But I about teared up. Mom showed me a picture of that because I'm like, that's amazing. I'm like, that he has family. My brother's gone all his life without knowing that part of his family at all. And I'm like, and we were both like, you know, we went through a tough divorce situation with our ex-stepfather and all. Later, I hit that color. I haven't done that. Anyway, I started tearing up because he has had no contact with that part of his family at all. And him and mom, I think, him and his dad and my mom have been divorced since he was like 1, if that. Last time he saw him was probably 1.5. My brother's like about 2.5 years older than me. Yeah, now I'm having tears are like in my eyelashes. So, you know, he has had no contact whatsoever. I mean, I went, like, my father had seen me when I was a baby, you know, but then, like, my ex-stepfather was a jealous man and didn't want him to have any contact, and my father didn't press the issue because I don't know why, but he just never did. So, you know, we moved from Texas to Massachusetts then. So, but then, I didn't have any contact with my father, and he made no effort to contact us until, like, I had my appendix out, which almost burst, and then it got infected, and my mom was out of work, and we were poor. I mean, this is after her divorce. We were, you know, freaking dirt poor, and she worked like 2 jobs to support us most of the time. Just to keep the house we were living in, because she got stuck with that mortgage when her and my ex-stepfather, and they paid way too much for that place then. I mean, that place was a piece of crap. Anyway, got stuck with it, and, you know, she's trying to make it and keep it. Anyway, she was out of work for over a month with me because I couldn't walk. I couldn't do a lot of stuff for a while. Oh, I needed that. So, tap it in that again. So, that was the first time I've got makeup there. Crap on a monkey butt. Anyway. Ooh, that's pink. I'm going to have to freaking cover that up. Or wipe it away. I hate that when I'm blending too much and, like, excess product gets on my nose. It just always does that. I hope I'm in frame. You might not hear me talking, but hopefully my eyeballs are in frame. So I just needed to talk to him, like, but he has had no contact. You know, I didn't have contact until, you know, I had to get on the phone and ask my father for money. Otherwise we weren't going to make it. Believe me, he didn't send a lot, and he never had to pay all the back child support he owed because he had a lawyer and my mother didn't. That happened a few years later. But, you know, I got to see him when I was almost 13. I mean, I was just a couple weeks shy of 13 because I used to always go visit him during the holidays, during Christmas. So the first time I visited him, I flew by myself. I was almost 12 and 13. But anyway, you know, it's been since I was 16 that I went back because I got a job, and I couldn't take off for the job. So, not really that long, and I was always doing something. Anyway, excuse me. So, you know, my brother has had no contact. Didn't know beyond than what my mother knew about his family whatsoever, and he's always wanted to know. And even though, you know, he's never met my family, or maybe when he was a baby, he probably knew them because my mother actually worked for my father. My father owned a restaurant, and she was a waitress. and they knew each other before they got together, and you know, she continued working there for a while after I was born. Let me see this. But yeah, he's never known. He's always wanted to know, and but you can blame him. You want to know where you come from. Anyway, he found out that his father was adopted by his mother's sister, and so he ended up with a different last name than his mother actually had, and so he found out a whole nother name. I don't know if his mother was married or a teenager. I'm thinking she might have been a teenager. But yeah, I found out a whole nother name for my brother. And they're in Florida, which we kind of knew, like, his father was from Florida, and that's pretty much where he went back to. So yeah, I don't know if I would have missed the bottom lashes. So I'm like, it's just amazing that, you know, and the reason why he's trying to get a hold of all the kids is, like, you know, he doesn't know how much long he has, and he wants to know, I guess, know my brother. And I'm like, that's just amazing. Because my brother deserves that. My brother has went through hell in his life. We both kind of have, but he, and who knows, maybe his addiction kept me from ever developing my own, because I saw what happened to him, and I was like, I was determined at the age me and my brother did not get along at all, that I was not going to be like him whatsoever. But he was a juvenile delinquent. It's the nicest way to put it. In and out of rehabs, even that age, boot camp. They had a boot camp that would try to straighten you out. All these other things for years. And he was addicted to almost every kind of drug, especially crystal meth. And he was an alcoholic. And finally, him and Jen, his wife, decided to get really serious, and he started going to church and all this other stuff. And she get pregnant, because that was on purpose, because her parents didn't want them together. Because she's younger than me. So even though they married when she was 17, and he had just turned 19, like the day after he turned 19, I think they got married. And she was big time pregnant with my niece. They lasted this long, and yeah. And now he's a youth minister, you know, trying to prevent that happening to the kids. And they took in 3 of her cousins. I'm like, he's come a long way. He surprises everybody, and I think leads people to believe, hey, it's possible. I mean, you can go from being the worst of the worst, or not the worst of the worst. I mean, you can kill anybody or steal a car, but you know, you can go through a lot and end up okay. But he hasn't mentioned this to me, and I'm just like, I mean, we haven't seen each other, and I think that's something you'd more or less want to tell. And I don't think he spoke to my mom. He was just texting her about all this. But I just think that's amazing that he has the opportunity to know and to learn. So anyway, like, I need to quit. I probably need to go. But yeah, so am I blended? I hope I'm blended. I'm like, I don't even know. I'm just gonna grab that fluffy brush and like pretend I'm blending. Like, yeah, it's fine. I'm blending with my left hand just a little bit. Yeah, opposite makeup day. Anyway, so yeah, I just needed to let that out before I go see him later today, and hopefully not end up a bumbling mess. Anyway, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. I hope I've been in frame. I really don't know. I'll watch this later. Okay, thanks. Bye.